Hey. I've immediately been whisked away, but with good reason. Because tea. I'm okay with it. Tea's important here. No, but seriously, that was really good because, like, usually the feeling of having, well, not usually, our whole lives, our whole lives thus far, the feeling of having a camera on us would, like, seriously be a detriment to noticing our needs or fulfilling them. So the fact that you were like, I don't want my tea to overbrew is really cool.
I don't think I ever had trouble doing that, did I? Although, usually it would create some sort of dissociation because we'd have mixed intent. So the fact that I could whisk you away to get the tea is quite nice, yeah.
See, that's very cool. I like that. Okay, where was I? What was I talking about?
The sped up feeling of time.
Oh yeah, thank you. So, lately, we've been, like, experiencing this kind of unable to slow down feeling, which I think is quite common of trauma. I think that it's like, I know it's a thing, I don't know why it's a thing or like exactly what's happening, but I know that it's just been like, I've been very busy in my brain, in the things I'm thinking of, in the things that I'm processing, and in like what's happening around me, what we're doing, like with attempting to Christmas shop on a fucking insane budget, and like, so there is this general like pace of life, I guess.
Cheers.
Welcome. And trying to do the vocal cords while you do the body movements is really fucking weird.
Good practice, mind.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Okay, okay. Um, so it's felt like everything's sped up, and like I haven't known how to slow down. Like when I'm talking to people, like talking to Ryan, I've been like talking faster and feeling like I never have enough time to spend with him. Talking to Poe has been the same, and it's been like I feel like I'm like buzzing through my day and checking messages and responding to messages and buzzing through my day and checking, but not really having time to like stay and catch up, and like it feels like I'm at my absolute upper limit of being able to talk. I have, and there's like messages from people that I really want to talk to who are awesome that I haven't managed to respond to in a while because it just feels like I have no time, and there's like this sped up like keep pacing thing, and I just found that we just stumbled upon something that really seemed to help with that, and now I feel like I have I feel like I've slowed down, I've dropped into the present again, and I'm like at a much clearer pace. I can kind of breathe, and I feel like I can take inventory of my surroundings, and like yeah, it does seem to have slowed the pace. So what it was I asked Valentine how he was feeling when we let the dogs out, and he was like, you should ask yourself first, and I was like, ooh, that's a novel concept, all right. So I kind of felt like I didn't know what to do or how to do that, but I just thought I'd like, yeah, there's loads of parts of me in this fusion, from fusing my subsystem, or all like slowly over time trying to fuse my subsystem into one person. So I was like, there's lots of parts of me who I'm used to seeing as other people, and still sometimes are back and forth. So I just out loud said like, how are all parts of me feeling? I probably sounded a bit hesitant and a bit like I wasn't sure I was going to get a response, which was a bit nerve-wracking. I was a bit like, what if nothing happens, or what if something happens? You know, like but like the I guess all the practice in the radical faith in ourselves and the just doing things and the like toning down the urgency feeling and the life or death feeling of stuff is paying off, because I was like, it was a manageable level, you know, and I was just like, okay, how's every part of me feeling? And I had to be very quiet and very still and really feel what my body was doing and really hear what my thoughts were doing inside. Thank you. I was just going to gesture at myself then with the knife. I'm very glad. And I got responses. Like, I got what happened first was I noticed I had one or two responses inside that were like, oh, hold on a second, let me just check I can share this. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Oh, I'm so brave. Oh, I love that. Well done. Go parts for me. Go me. Yeah, so I had like these initial thoughts sort of flit past, and they felt like quite far in. And although I was very consciously aware I had heard them, I also wasn't for very long, and it felt like they went past. And I had this weird overground feeling of like, oh, I know they're there. I have time to acknowledge they're there. Therefore, I don't need to right now. And they kind of slowly drift away as I'm thinking that. And I had another one that was like, so those ones were like, I'm a bit heavy and I'm a bit sad. And I sort of half acknowledged them mentally and thought, therefore, I have acknowledged them. And like, a drift starts to happen, a sort of disconnect. But while it's happening, as the emotion from it's being removed, you feel better. So you don't notice, or I don't notice that anything's happening because I'm like, with them being removed, I'm only feeling better. I'm feeling less emotions. So I can't tell what I'm not feeling, you know? So it's like, as it happens, I don't really notice it happen. And I got this. So this is what I mean by I have to be really still and like really feel what's happening in my body and really listen and like really feel deep in all parts. It's like very tuned sort of feeling. And but also without feeling pressure on myself to be so. So it's like a very zen state, I think, that I don't perfectly achieve or anything. It's just that seems to be when it's easiest. And I noticed these other thoughts that were like, I really like how I've done my makeup today. I feel cute. I really like that I can feel cute now and that I can spend time in the body existing. And I really like being existent. And these ones I said out loud and I got happy as I said them out loud. It's like I went from hearing them and I said them out loud like, oh, I'm feeling these things. Like, I'm feeling happy to feel existent. And again, and I feel happy as I say them. It's like I go from just hearing them as thoughts pass to me, and then when I say them out loud and acknowledge them, I feel them. They like get internalized, or like I get connected to them properly.
Yep, it's alright. I like the texture. I want it seared on either side and then turned down to keep it all for now.
Sure. I mean, you're obviously sure. I won't ask again. Yes, good. I like your plan.
Cheers.
So, I wonder if the whole, like, I think that I have time to acknowledge that driftiness in the thoughts, thinking, like, mentally I have acknowledged them, is, like, a way to protect myself from really connecting with those things, because acknowledging the positive things out loud felt like I really connected to them and then could really feel them, and I was like, oh, I'm really happy about these, this is really cool. And then I thought about the one that was drifting away, like almost had lost it at that point, but was like, wait, these ones. And I went, oh, I noticed that a minute ago or so I feel quite sad and I feel quite heavy. Oh, yeah, real life demonstration. And that happened, and I was like, oh shit, I feel really like relieved, like a weight has just been like lifted a bit and like acknowledged, and I really feel like it's weird because it's like physically the feeling is worse, but that's so much better. That's so much cleaner and clearer and like real. And it feels like there's no murky corners being ignored. It feels like attuning to myself and giving myself what I need and what I deserve. I guess it is meeting a need of emotional validation. I'm working it out as I talk. That's why the nodding. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So that was really cool. And then we had like a few things passed to us from various parts of us that worked. Turn it down now.
You shouldn't have hesitated. You should have just gone with it. First instinct.
It'll come out really like hollow and false now because I hesitated because I thought it over too much.
You can go for either one you want.
I don't know, I got stuck on like being like, do I do this to help to make your life easier, or do I use it as practice run for saying no? So it was either going to be like, turn it down yourself, bitch, or yes, sir. But now neither one really works, and
Take your first answer. I'm capable of turning it down myself, bitch.
Thank you. Thrown off.
We were handed many things.
Thank you. God, glad you're listening. We were handed many different emotions from many parts of our subsystems. Oh no, I cannot throw chili and garlic into the pan at the same time as remaining on camera.
I think I can, actually. A little challenging.
Some multitasking is not better than doing one thing at a time.
What? Who has ADHD? What are you talking about?
I know, right? Like, seriously. Just pause this for a second. So we got handed like a lot of different things that were actually weighing down many parts of us that we were not consciously aware of, and had like this big 40-minute long conversation of like, I've realized that like validating like acknowledging, being like, okay, shit, we feel like this. We feel like this because of these experiences, and fuck the people that created these experiences, because that was not fucking fair on us. We deserved a lot better. And then I noticed that because when somebody experiences an intense emotion around me, I am kind of trained to like fix the problem for them, to like remove the need for them to feel that. So naturally that means that other parts of my subsystem or other parts of me are also going to do that. So if I go, fuck, that's not fair, and I like express the emotions that is healthy for us to express, I've then got to also at the same time go, thank you so much for fucking sharing this shit, because I really, really do appreciate it, and I really do want to know, and I want to feel what's going on. And I think it's so brave that every part of me is fucking sharing this shit with me. And I love being able to feel things. I didn't know the layers we were missing, and like the intensity we were missing feeling things in, and I prefer this a lot, even the emotions that are uncomfortable. I love authentically feeling, and I appreciate them being shared. So there's like this, it has to be both, because otherwise I've noticed that if I just try to validate that it wasn't fair that we experienced these things, that can mistranslate as like, oh no, I'd better withdraw this emotion to stop the discomfort, and then it's like we only feel it in short bursts, and then it gets withdrawn. So there's like this, to be able to hold it really, there's like this mix that I feel has to happen for us. And then we had like 40-minute conversation.
What's the rice wine? I need to declose the pan.
Where we just talked through all of the things that were on every part of our, I don't know about every part, but like a lot of our parts of our parts of us. Ooh, terminology changed, weird. But cool progress. So like a lot of parts of us expressed these things, and we validated them, we talked about them, and then all of a sudden it's like it felt like I was a big container with a tap on the end, and like there were other containers behind me that were bigger, and like I was getting bursts of liquid from them forwards into me, and then expressing it via the tap, and like containing it for a bit, and then expressing bits, and like it felt like I did that to my limit, and I suddenly felt like really tired, and just like dropped into, it felt like I dropped back into time, which is hard to explain because it's not like I dropped into the present, which I mean I did, but not from the past. Like if I was in an emotional flashback, it's like I dropped into the feeling of time slowing and like dropped into the timeline instead of seeing it all sped up, like slightly out of it ahead of me. I don't know. The feeling of everything speeding up though has really changed and shifted. I feel like more work like this will help me to slow the pace of life more and acknowledge where we are. And like, I think if we really feel where we are in the moment, it becomes a full and rich enough experience that it holds us to it there as long as we can manage it and meet the needs that are coming up. You know, it's like it makes the present a full enough experience to not be able to or need to be anywhere else. I think for me, that's how I feel. So that was really, really cool. And I really appreciated this experience. And I feel like, oh my God, I feel so tired now. Like, I feel so much more exhausted and so much more drained than I had any idea I felt. And I'm much better to know this because now I'm like, oh, was this like the purpose of the speeding up to like, to not notice this stuff or like, you know, it must be protective in some way. There's a benefit, not just a cost. Because like the cost of everything being sped up, I guess, is that we couldn't actually recognize and meet ourselves where we're at emotionally and feel this relief and this like existence of just being. So there must be a benefit. Like it protected us, I guess, from feeling all these things. It's like kind of hand in hand. So would recommend. Would recommend. Really helpful. Hope you're taking care and having a good day.